Today's topic is allergies in children. However, this also applies to adults, but I'm going to be concentrating more on children because there's certain things that children have at an early age that actually can sort of trigger or create the onset of allergies. Now, what I'm going to talk about in allergies is a little bit different and I would say out the box, but you're going to see the common sense approach of this thing, and you'll understand why there's allergies and what you can do about it. I'll go straight to the source. This is not controlling allergies, it's actually dealing with it straight from the source. So let me start. I'm Alan Warnitz, nutrition expert. I help parents and I help children recover their health with nutrition and help people live life free of drugs. So what happens is, in allergies, basically what happens, that it is triggered by toxins and particles in the blood that should never be there. What those particles are known as toxins, feces, the shit that should be going out in the toilet, if I may use those words, and undigested proteins in the blood. Now, these are things that should never be in the blood. So what happens is the body reacts. It doesn't like it. It tries to find a way to eliminate it, because the only thing that should be in the blood is amino acids, vitamins, minerals that are carried by the red blood cells and to the cells to produce energy and to build muscles and all that. So how does that happen? Is basically it comes from a leaky gut. So here's a little description of the gut here. This is like the gut is a muscle. So it's a muscle. So and through the gut is after the food is digested and all the nutrients have gone out. This is the last part, the colon. The colon where the feces are comes down and comes out into the toilet. Now, in a normal circumstances, that muscle works like this. It presses the feces, and that one opens, presses, and the other one opens, so that there's movement that goes down. So there's a muscle contraction and a muscle relaxation. So there's a muscle here. So what happens is in the colon, if these muscles are not working, if they are cramped, and the muscle movement that I explained is called peristalsis. So if that stops, the muscle stops, so then the waste, instead of moving down, sits there. Now, what can also happen is that one takes antibiotics. So you've had children who will take antibiotics as well, and the antibiotics is not replenished with probiotics. They're just left at that. So just take a course, can take a few courses of antibiotics. So what antibiotics does, because inside the colon here you've got good bacteria, and they are there. The good bacteria also sort of tidy up the waste or digest some foods, and within the good bacteria you've also got another bacteria called Candida. It's like a fungus. Candida is a fungus. So there's Candida, it's a fungus. So when you've got good bacteria, which is called acidophilus, it controls the Candida, and the Candida just stays as spores. So spore is like it stays as a spore, like a mushroom. Now, when you take antibiotics, it kills the good bacteria, so now the Candida is not being controlled anymore. It can grow now. So what happens as a spore, it grows into a mushroom, and it's like a little extrusion comes out of it. So that extrusion now comes to the side of the colon here and pokes a hole in it. Makes it, so now you've got a hole in the colon now. Makes it, which should never happen. So now you've got another Candida which has grown with its pores there and has opened a hole. So what do you think happens now where there's a hole in the colon now? Colon is not working, the muscles are not working, there's a bit of constipation, there's a hole here. Next thing, this thing becomes inflamed. So now you get inflammation. And while there's inflammation, food goes through the thing into the blood. And that's dangerous. That should never happen. So you have a problem here, which actually starts with antibiotics and starts with the muscles not moving as well. But mainly antibiotics, because it kills the good bacteria. And there's no probiotics, and the growth of the Candida is uncontrolled now. So it just grows now, and it grows and it pokes. And out goes shit into the blood. That is what causes the allergies. The allergies is caused because, and if there is poor digestion, so then you're going to have proteins. Because the proteins, if digested, turns into amino acids. When it turns to amino acids, it's fine. You can have amino acids in the blood because that will go to the liver, and then it will reproduce some new muscles or some new organs. It will reproduce your skin and all that. But if the protein is not digested and is coming out and moves into the blood, then you have a problem. If you've heard about the blood group diet, if a certain protein goes into the blood, the body doesn't react. But if a different proteins go into the blood and your blood group diet is different, you get the reaction. So that's a different topic. You can read the book Peter D'Adamo, the blood group diet. So when that happens now, you get allergies. So what do allergies do? It actually triggers asthma or trigger phlegm buildup. When you're drinking milk, like I said, don't drink milk because you've got allergies or you get phlegm. What it happens is the milk has not digested, milk goes out here, then the phlegm is built. When this is closed, when the colon is closed, it's healthy. You can drink milk because no milk is going to go through here and you won't get phlegm. Right, so you get all different things: eczema, psoriasis, inflammations, thrush. You get thrush coming from the anus into the sexual organs, or thrush going through the blood into the brain, into the mouth. That becomes dangerous. Another thing that happens with children is when they're very young, their immune system is not very strong, and unfortunately, at a younger age, before 2 years old, when the immune system is somewhat built, before 2 years old, they're giving children MMR vaccine. And the MMR vaccine, it actually swells the lymph glands in the intestinal lining, in the small intestine. So now you've got a child now with a compromised immune system. The immune system is not strong enough, gets a vaccine, and that swells the lymph glands, and that creates problems now. Now, the problems are created, and then probably gets given antibiotics, and then all the disaster starts at the young age. And then you find the child hasn't got a good immune system, and a leaky gut, which lacks good bacteria. The gut and brain are connected. So now you start having gut and brain nervous systems which are being connected, and you've got altered brain development as well from that vaccine damage. And that you can get anxiety, depression as well that comes with it. So these are the problems that happen. And this is where the allergies start. It starts here in the colon. The colon is not holding, the colon is leaking. We call it a leaky gut. When that happens, the muscles the colon now gets inflamed, gets like thicker. You get IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. You'll get bouts of diarrhea and bouts of cramping, which is constipation. So, now that we've got all these problems that are happening with allergies, what can you do now? Now let's see, what answers can you do? Are there any solutions? Yes, there are. So let me go over the solutions for you. There are 7 steps you can take. First of all, you reduce the inflammation. So with this inflammation here, you reduce the inflammation. So that is done with some supplements, high doses of B5, about 500 milligrams of B5, vitamin C, about 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams, B complex, 25 milligrams of B complex, omega-3, 2,000 milligrams, and then, so that will create the anti-inflammatory hormones that will come in, reduce the inflammation. And then to calm the muscles, for the muscles to be able to work back and work normally, you take CalMag, calcium, magnesium with potassium. So this together now helps the muscle and reduces the inflammation. So now that the colon now, inflammation is getting lower now, you do a colon cleansing, because if the feces has got stuck here, you'll probably have parasites, you'll have germs and all that sticking there. So you take some anti-parasitic and anti-inflammatory herbs, which is psyllium husk, which is a fiber, which will grab the feces and will actually moisten it to take it out, but it can only go out when there's muscle movement. And then alfalfa, slippery elm, licorice root, and aloe vera, they are anti-parasitic and anti-inflammatory herbs. So they help when the movement is happening, and the psyllium husk, which is a very, very gentle fiber, with lots of water will moisten the feces and will stop the parasitic problems there. You've got also, with digestion, because digestion is poor, take some digestive enzymes. So the digestive enzymes come here into the blood and they go and digest the toxins, the feces and the proteins in the blood that have not been digested. So you can take digestive enzymes as a supplement. You can take this for a few days. It helps to digest the foods. Then you do a colon repair. The colon has been damaged. How do you repair it? The colon is made of glutamine. Glutamine is an amino acid. You can buy them in the health shops. You take 2,000 milligrams a day, and that helps to rebuild, it reconstructs the colon. So you've got a colon reconstruction. Now, with children who've had vaccine damage, and which has created problems in brain development, the brain is actually under a little bit of stress. And what you can do to calm the brain, it's done with cannabinoids, CBD. So you take small amounts of cannabinoids, and the brain has got receptors, cannabinoid receptors, and cannabinoids is also found in mother's milk. So it triggers the manufacturing of the receptors, and that has a calming effect on the brain when the brain is under stress, so it relaxes the brain. Then you need to replenish with probiotics, with acidophilus. So take a course of probiotics, which replenishes it to control the overgrowth of Candida. You cannot remove Candida. It's very hard to kill it or to remove it. So what you do is you bring the body back in a condition where it can put it under control. And the way you stop Candida growth is with biotin. Biotin is a B vitamin, and you find biotin in niacinamide. Niacin is a B3 vitamin. A B3 vitamin, niacin on its own will give you the flush, so they call it the flush vitamin. But when niacin is bonded with biotin, it's called niacinamide, it's called non-flush niacin. So non-flush niacin, about 100 milligrams to 300 milligrams. And vitamin E, 400 international units of vitamin E. That works very well in actually blocking the reproduction and the growth of Candida. It stops the Candida from building that little perforation. Now we've done the 7 steps. Now what feeds Candida? One is you can stop the growth of Candida, but one also you mustn't feed it. What feeds Candida is sugar. So you find people who've got who've got Candida and thrush will always want sugar. So it's a bit of a problem. So sugar has to be reduced or actually bring down to 0 because the sugar feeds the Candida. When you take too much sugar and the Candida is overgrown, you get thrush. And baker's yeast. Baker's yeast is the yeast they use for baking bread. So anything that's got bread with baker's yeast, that is the food. That's the food that actually feeds the Candida, and the Candida is what creates the thrush. All right, so I think that's all for now about allergies. This also, as I said, applies to adults as well. Adults would not be affected by the vaccine because that was at the age before 2 years old where there's vaccine damage. But it applies with adults who are on antibiotics and have not taken probiotics and have allowed the colon to stall. So I'm going to give you some links on colon cleansing, some links on inflammations, how to reduce inflammations and infections. Got a link for hyperactive children. A lot of children who are hyperactive have allergies, so that gives a bit of understanding other actions you can take on hyperactive children. What are junk foods and healthy diets, healthy meals, and how to eat healthy, and how to remove junk foods from the diet, so that your system gets back to normal and you don't have any more allergies, and you reduce the onset of asthma, phlegm buildup. If you do this, you'll find all these problems, asthma, phlegm buildup, and all the eczema will start reducing. Thank you for listening. I hope you've learned something and you can make use of it. And if you liked it, share it. I'm sure you know somebody who's suffering with allergies, somebody who's suffering with these problems. Give them a chance to learn something new and make their life better. Thank you.